Alright everyone, hello and welcome to an Intel video. Now that we've released the Indyhog reveal trailer, wanted to do a video with a lot of information on the series and different ideas and a look at the schedule currently and all that stuff. So if you want any information on Indyhog, hopefully you'll get all of it that you would want from this video. And if there's something that I missed or anything like that, always remember to use the comments and ask questions there. You could always go to the Discord as well. Wherever, I'll see it either way, and I don't mind responding and looking at that stuff, or even if it's just a take on the series and not like your take on the series and not like a question or whatever it is. Interested in all that. So again, on the Discord or in the comments, go ahead and do that. But yeah, in this video, I'm gonna try to cover. I'm gonna switch screens in a second to the schedule. And I'm going to try to cover as much as I possibly can. So if you want all the intel on the next season, even though it's a couple months away, it's going to arrive super quick. It always does, and hopefully get it from this video. So let's transition into that, and hope you guys enjoy all the leaks and stuff. All right, so we're going to be taking a look at this prototype schedule that I have set up here. Everything is not super clean and super set up because this isn't the final product. This is mostly just to give you guys an idea of what the layout will be, give myself an idea of it as well, and try to keep track of working on tracks or whatever. So let's go through, first of all, I want to give everyone an idea of what types of tracks we'll be seeing. So I'm going to go through all those if you're not familiar with any of these. So starting off the season, St. Petersburg, that's going to be a street circuit, so enclosed. Road course going to be very tight with the walls and stuff, obviously. In the trailer, that wasn't the case, just had the track layout done, but trust when it's done, it's going to have walls pretty aggressively, and it'll be a very tight track. Texas Motor Speedway will be an intermediate oval. It shouldn't be as big as the Indy 500 or Hogtona, for example. It should not be as big as those, but it should be bigger than Iowa or Gateway, so this one will be kind of in the middle. Long Beach, another street circuit. Barber, the first classic road course on the schedule, and then the Indy road course, which our version's a little bit tighter, but technically a road course as well. Indy 500, big box-shaped, still call it an oval, but box-shaped track essentially, or rectangle, rectangular track. That makes a little bit more sense than saying box shape. I don't know why I said that. But yeah, this one's pretty sweet. This is the main event for this series, of course, and I might have some ideas with that. I'll show those in a moment. Detroit, another street circuit. Road America, obviously same Road America that we've been racing. That'll be returning, classic road course here. Mid-Ohio, another road course. Toronto, another street circuit. Iowa and Gateway, these are both ovals. These are the last two ovals. To be honest with you, I'm not sure. I don't know if Iowa is a bigger track or if Gateway is a bigger track. They might be the same size. I don't know off the top of my head. I feel like Iowa's smaller, but I'm not 100% sure. Either way, they should be smaller than Texas and Indy, and they should be the short tracks essentially on the schedule. For the Hogs here, Nashville GP, that's going to be another street circuit, and then ending off the season with two classic road courses. Portland should be a cool one to make in this game, and Laguna Seca. So obviously, if you remember Laguna Seca and any of the other games that we've raced it, I mean, heck, we even raced it as recent as the Reach Grand Finals, the Reach Throwback Grand Finals that we did at the end of last year. We actually raced it there, and funnily enough, this Laguna Seca, it's the same day, essentially. I think it's literally the same day. It'll be raced on for ending out the season, so that's kind of a cool connection. That wasn't planned at all, but that's kind of cool. Even though it wasn't technically the last race, that's kind of a neat thing there. But yeah, so if you know Laguna Seca, this will be same thing, but for Hogs. Which would be pretty cool. I'm really excited to see how this track goes for the Hogs. Okay, so that was the lay of the land, what types of tracks they are. Now I'll go through for forging them. So obviously already made up these two, and Road America we've had ready to go. So 3 of our, if you haven't already observed, 15 tracks. We have 3 of those ready to go right here. Those are just all good, ready to go. Maybe you can make adjustments or tweaks, but they're ready as far as I'm concerned. I have these yellow ones, are the ones that I'm making on that I showcased that are works in progress. I showcased them in the trailer, St. Pete and Gateway. I was working on both those, so those are the ones in yellow. And then I had ideas for who's going to make these other tracks or who I could ask, and we'll see in the comments, and we'll see because I'm sure they'll see the video. um, but it's kind of a thing where like if they want to make it, they can make it. But I don't know. I wanted to try to get a better variety, so I wanted to try to get more people to forge, and we'll see if it happens, and if not, I'll try to clutch up again. But again, we'll try to have Matt do Texas. Long Beach. Slaunch is already planning on doing that one, so he's going to do Long Beach. I was going to try to tackle Barber. Then I was going to ask Roman to do some, see if he could do Detroit, Toronto, or Nashville. Funnily enough, those are all street circuits. So, Roman, if you're watching the video and you are down to forge, if you want to switch it up and do like Barber or something, and I could take one of the street tracks, I'm okay with that. I didn't realize that they were all literally street tracks that I gave you. So, or if you want to do one of the ovals too, or whatever. If Opix doesn't want to do it or something, whatever. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Mid Ohio, I tagged down Armada. Admittedly, I think he'd probably be down to do it. I think he'll probably just do the aesthetics if I had to guess. But if he wants to shoot for the whole thing, I would be down for that. But up to him. But I figured home track essentially if he wanted to do that one. See if Opix wanted to do. I know he's done ovals before, and I always do like all the ovals these days. So it's like if he wanted to give a shot at this one, and obviously Claystone that he made is like kind of an oval, half an oval, and that part of the track's pretty good. So I want to see if he wanted to tackle Iowa. I'm working on Gateway. We already had Roman for Nashville, and then see if Opix wanted to do a road course as well. Put him down for Portland. We'll see. If not, we'll fill that one around. But just had that down, and then Laguna Seca maybe like a combo forge for this grand final action. Either way, I'll probably start the layout, but maybe get some help with that one. We'll see. But yeah, so for the people that were mentioned, let me know what you think. If you want to work on any of these, if you don't, that's fine. I just figured, this is part of the reason why we announced this so early. Like, this is such an early, it gives you so much time to work with if you do want to make these tracks. So if you guys are actually down, and if you want to do the tracks that I have you for on the schedule, or if you want to like swap something around, like I was mentioning, let me know. Or if you're not able to do it or don't want to do it, that's fine too. Just let me know. I just figured it'd be cool because, like, especially with Rallycross, like this recent Rallycross season, even though I've really been enjoying it, and even though I genuinely enjoyed like the big forge grind to basically cook up the whole schedule, or like the vast majority of it, even though it was fun and it was like kind of a challenge, it was also a lot. And on top of that, not just like the time commitment, but I also just think it's more interesting when we have a variety of people tackling some of these tracks, even one-offs. So like literally, like if Matt just does Texas, Slaunch just does Long Beach, which for them as well, if you want to try to tackle one of these or a different one as well, let me know. But even if they just do like one-offs, like I think even that's pretty cool. But yeah, just to have like some variety, like I think that's the big thing, because obviously I have my style of forging, and everybody listed here and everybody mentioned has their own styles of forging, and the tracks are going to be made differently. The tracks are going to feel differently. They might, tackle a section on one of these tracks, even though they're all real life based tracks. They might, tackle one of them differently, approach a certain aspect of it differently than I would, and I have my certain way of doing it. So, just having like the variety in there, and you can really feel that like different people made the tracks. Maybe it's a little more specific for me with RX because like I know my style, and obviously because I make those tracks and like I've done all of them. So maybe it's not as much of a deal for everybody else racing the RX season. Like, but for me, it's very noticeable week in and week out. It's like, yep, another one of my tracks. Like banged this one out, like I don't know. But yeah, it'd be nice to get some variety from like a racer's perspective too. Again, I don't know if anybody else thinks about that, but obviously me working on most of the RX, I think about it. But yeah, I think it'd be cool to do that. And obviously with like the hogs too, we've only had so many people have like taken a shot on these of forging. Like in the beginning, it was all Opix like prototyping it, and then Slaunch we worked on like Road America, and he did like Hog Bay. Detail made one with like Catalunya. But then like aside from like those examples there, I think Roman might have cooked one up or two as well, but those just are for a later season. But then it's been a lot of my forges besides that, which is fine. But again, it'd just be nice to get some variety in. So for the people listed, or even if you're not listed, but you're maybe interested as well, that's fine too. Just let me know and we'll figure it out, and we'll try to plan things out. And yeah, try to get it set up. And again, like having the dates and all this stuff ready makes this a lot easier too. So like, oh yeah, I might not want to forage on this week or this day, but you might have like 3 months. You might have 3 months, so hopefully you'd have time in there where you would want to tackle it. So yeah, we'll figure that out. But anyways, so that's the whole like foraging thing I wanted to go over. So what else I want to say? Okay, so like for formatting, probably do our same stuff that we've been doing with like the heats and the two motos and like the same moto length and whatnot, and then, like some triple crowns thrown in. What we'll probably do is we'll probably do a triple crown, like one each, for each track type. So for example, I don't know if this is what it's going to be, but for example, like Long Beach could be like the street circuit triple crown. Laguna Seca being like the final race. Could be, and no grand final for this either. Just going to be a regular season. Laguna Seca being the final race, that could be the road course triple crown, and obviously it being like the final race, that kind of fit there too. For the ovals, probably like Iowa, maybe Texas, maybe Gateway. I know I just listed three of them, three of the four, but I don't really care, to be honest. Like we'll figure it out. Probably not Texas because it's too close to Long Beach. So probably Iowa or Gateway would make the most sense. Iowa would make the most sense in terms of like distancing the triple crown. So maybe that's what it'll be. Maybe it could be like Long Beach, Iowa, Laguna, or something like that. And then for the Indy 500, so for the race in real life, they do, like, it's obviously a very historic event and very specific to the series. And an idea that I had that was cool, or that I think is cool, we'll see what people think about it, is so we're not doing double headers, right? Like we haven't done double headers. Like we've done the triple crowns, but the triple crowns are a little bit different, right? Triple crowns are, I would say, a lot different than a double header. Running an extra moto as opposed to like setting up a whole new track and like getting some practice in on it instead of just like running a Moto 3, like that's a big difference. And the triple crowns have been fine. I think people like them too. At least so far, it seems like you know reception's been pretty positive. But I'm not saying I want to do a doubleheader, but we could do something with the Indy 500 that'll be close to that. So what they do in real life, if I'm not mistaken, is that the Indy 500 is a double points paying race. So like it's such a big like crown jewel event that they actually pay out. You get like double the points for winning, for second, for third, whatever. I'm pretty sure it's like throughout all the positions you get double points. So a way that we could do that in an HRL way without doing like a super long race and then like just jacking up the points values, instead of doing something like that, an HRL way we could do it is where we have all these triple crowns. Indy 500 could be a 4-moto event, so like kind of similar to what we've had like with Chile in the past, where we did the Chile quad, with the Chile Bowl races and whatnot. We could do that with an Indy 500 and make it a quad race, and then that effectively would make it a double points payout event with the 4 motos. Obviously it's a little bit different because it's not like you get first in one race and you're getting the double effect from that. It's going to be you're going to be getting all your individual placements in the motos, but compared to a normal 2-race night, you're getting double the races. So it might not work out to exactly double the points, but it could be close, and you're going to be getting more points. It's going to be double the action. Like, you get the point. It's not the exact same thing, but it's a way to kind of bring that aspect from the real life series into our HRL version and kind of HRL-ify it, and make it fit with what we do. So I think that's kind of cool. Let me know what you think on that too. Yeah, I like that idea, and it's supposed to be like big event to the season. So I don't know, I kind of like it. So yeah, most of these events would be normal 2-moto events, 3 triple crowns, again, potentially Long Beach, Laguna, and Iowa. We'll see, but like potentially those will be the triple crowns. And there'll be like a bonus race event in every month. Like that's kind of the idea, because obviously Long Beach would be in September. Indy 500 would be the quad. That would be in October. Iowa, if that's the other triple crown, that's in November. And Laguna in December for the final triple crown. One more thing too. Obviously this is a pretty long schedule, but to alleviate that, I mean, if you pay attention to the dates in the Rallycross schedule, you can see that it's a pretty big, there's a pretty big time gap when we finish Rallycross to going into this. There's a pretty big break going into it. And then on top of that, right around here, when we get to around like where a normal season would be ending, it'd be a little bit sooner, but around here, I actually did something that we haven't done before. Did a holiday weekend off. So this is where like Thanksgiving is. and I was like, all right, well that fits quite nicely. I wanted to try doing a week off since it's a longer season. I think that might be a nice thing to add. So we have this week off right here for that Thanksgiving, weekend, so everybody can have a good amount of time to, regain and get set for this last 3 tracks run of December. So yeah, those are all like the new ideas and stuff like that that'll come to this. Yeah, obviously comments open forum. Let me know with all the things obviously brought up a lot in this video. The last thing I would say is like as far as like pits and jokers would be a big question, and the answer is right now it's a little disappointing. I don't have one. I'm not sure yet. It could be something where we do it like a track by track basis. Like if a track wants to have a joker or we want to do pits on a track, or like the creator wants to do it on that track, we could do it on that track, but we don't do it for every track. Or we could have it be uniform. It could be no pits or jokers. It could be pits or jokers on all of them. I'm not really decided yet. I would say like for the ovals, we're pretty confidently not doing any of that. Well, it'd be pits for ovals, but I'd say for the ovals, like pretty confident 100% not going to be doing pits. But for the road courses and the street tracks, I'm open to whatever, so we'll figure that out. Could see pits or jokers on there, could not. Let me know what you think on that as well, because I'm kind of indifferent on it for this particular season. Like we could do it, and I'd be down to forge it in and make it work. We could not do it, and I'd honestly be okay with that too. I don't really mind it either way. I think I'm okay either way for this one. So that's how I feel about that. So yeah, as far as things that I have to say for giving intel in this video, that's about it. I don't think I have anything else major to say. I would say just like, let me know like feedback and stuff in the comments. People that I mentioned for the Forge stuff, let me know on that. And then also like the ideas, if you want to share thoughts and opinions on that stuff, and then like the jokers and that thing, and then like the quad idea, all that stuff. As always, comments is open there for that. Yeah, the only other like last thing I would say is that if I don't know how regularly I'll be working on these the next couple weeks, the tracks that I want to make, because I still gotta work on the grand final track, still gotta finish up the grand final track for the Rallycross, so that's a big focus right now. And then also Hog Angeles needs some adjustments and needs to get spruced up a little bit. It's a little behind. So I need to finish up Hog Angeles. That's going to take a little bit of adjustment. That's the last regular season week for Rallycross. Second to last track needs a little bit of work too, but that one's not a big deal. But obviously the Rallycross has the priority. So I don't know when I'll be working on the ones that I'm going to be working on and when I'll have those done and ready for testing. But if I do, work on one of these and get them ready for testing and whatnot, or one of the ones that I'm already working on, if I do that and get it to a point where I think it could be tested, we could do and probably will do the thing that we did with the last week with how we tested Indy afterwards and got the test in for that. So like literal preseason testing. Yeah, the earlier for testing, the better. So if I do end up getting some of this stuff done and ready to go, prototypes, whatever, yeah, look forward to that. I would definitely throw them in for tests, but no promises. All right, so yeah, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, I'm sure there could be questions, so any questions, let me know. I hope you guys like that. There's a little bit of an earlier planning here. Okay, so sorry, we're going a little bit longer. One more. We're going a little bit longer because I thought of something. I thought of one more thing I wanted to address in this video. Hog F1. So, yeah, I know we mentioned F1 a lot and weren't like 100% on it, but that was like a likely season. And then I posted maybe it was like the Protocol Cheese, where I mentioned like the mini-series idea and mentioned the Hog F1 idea. And so you might be thinking like, okay, well, where did this come from? Like, was this just to be a surprise? Did you already have it like set up? Not necessarily. So this wasn't intended to be a surprise, and this wasn't originally a plan. Doing the IndyCar series for the Hogs was always something that like I had as an idea. I just wasn't set on doing it this early. And then also we tried to do an Indy series way back in Halo 4, like 2013 or 14. So that's kind of a cool thing too. Like this is like almost a decade, maybe even a decade in the making, because that was an original like old HRL planned series that we never got to do. So that's another thing, is it's like a little personal too, like trying to get to finish this would be cool. Um, and so basically, what happened was with the Rallycross series, obviously a lot different than Firestone Firehawk that we did in the spring, because with Firestone we had like all the variety and stuff, and then with Rallycross we went to straight Rallycross, which is fine. And I've enjoyed the Rallycross season so far, and I'm looking forward to finishing it out, because I just think the rallycross racing is super fun. I think it's been fun to spectate and to race. Had some crazy races, but look at the finish that we just had, Quebec Moto 3. Like, that was one of the craziest HRL finishes ever. Like, if there's like a top 10, it's in there for sure. I don't even think it's recency bias. Like, that finish was insane. Um, we've had some crazy finishes, we've had some crazy races, and we've always wanted to do a rallycross series, and I'm really glad that we're doing it, and I've been enjoying it. That being said, I don't want to follow up. So like with the Hog F1 idea, I didn't necessarily want to follow up a series where we're just doing one type of track with a series with another series that would be one type of track. Um, Especially the F1 series could be pretty long. So I didn't want to do that. I wanted to I want to kind of like switch off with that. I want to try to switch off if we possibly can. I think that'd be a nice thing to like, have a breath of fresh air and to have like good track variety. Um, so yeah, I just didn't want to do that. And I've heard people say that too with, obviously with the RX series, tracks are sweet, but also like it's getting to that point now that we're like over halfway through it where it's like we need some of that variety again. Um and again, like I don't think the Rallycross season was like too long or anything, or that it's going too long or anything. Like we're still going to run it out. And I think it's like a perfect length for what it is, and I'm still glad that we're doing it. Um and it's been a good series. But again, it's literally just for the next one. Like I'm fine with the RX being its own thing. I just don't want to do another like single track type series right after it. So then I got the idea for this, and I was like, oh, this is kind of nice because this has road courses. This could kind of get us ready for like Hog F1 in that regard, and like trying to forge those. And then it's got the street circuits. Obviously, Hog F1 has the street circuits as well, so that kind of works for that too. And then it's got the ovals mixed in as well. And I wanted to do more experimentation with the normal ovals, and obviously Hogtona was pretty crazy, so I wanted to do more experimentation with that, and it's got a fair amount of those too. Um, so so yeah, and depending on how those go, that could affect the next series that we do. Leakin, I did make up. I did this last year too. I did make up some potential uh, schedules for if we do our Hogscar series, which would be this would essentially be the inverse of the Indyhog series. This would be mostly ovals with road courses sprinkled in. So that's the thing with this series. That's what would make this series unique, is that it's not entirely an oval series. It's literally the opposite of Indyhog. It's mostly ovals, a few road courses sprinkled in. I think this series could be really cool. I think these tracks could be really cool. And if we do Hogscar, it basically it sounds so weird. It basically depends on God, the names on the schedule too. It basically depends on like how well the oval races for Indyhog go. So we'll see if they go really well. This could potentially be what we do next. If they're a little bit, if they're kind of in between, then maybe hold back on it a bit. We'll see. Um, and then I still have the potential Hog F1 schedule, and like the dates. I moved the dates around for next year because obviously we're not going to be doing it this fall now. So I still have the Hog F1 planned schedule. I don't know if I've showed it before, but here it is. It's not, again, like the same thing with the Hogscar. It's not like the full length schedule. Obviously, these real life series schedules are really long. It's massively cut back. It's basically just like a best of the schedule. I basically just took out the tracks that I don't care for as much and included all the tracks that I like. That's essentially what I did. And to be fair, for people that watch F1, I think you'll probably agree with a lot of my decisions. For example, not doing the Las Vegas F1 track. The oval track for Vegas, if we do Hogscar, is going to be great. But yeah, the F1 Vegas track, that one, we don't need to race that one. We don't need to race that one. So I think a lot of you guys, even with the Indy Hog schedule, I think if you guys follow the actual series and then the Hogscar too, I imagine you guys would probably agree with a lot of my decisions, because that's essentially what it is for a lot of these real life series, is having my discretion and trying to put in like the best schedule. Have it be a longer series, but not too long. All right. So I wasn't planning. I was planning on mentioning it. I wasn't planning on doing the full-on leak, but there you go. That could be potential future plans, depending on like how Indyhog goes, depending on how these particular tracks go, depending on where we're feeling, depending on where Infinite is. Lots of factors at play. But yeah, so there you go. That's actually it for real this time. Hope you guys enjoyed the Intel video with the extra Intel sprinkled in for people that stayed in throughout the whole video. The ultra leak action there at the end. There's your reward. Again, hit up the comments. Let me know what you think. Any questions, whatever. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you next time.